Okay, so when you're trying to comprehend what something says and you're trying to use the correct verbs in the paragraph, you call that parallel structure. So let's take a look. Hello. I was just looking at how we go over this. And how we go over this is with pronouns. This equals one item. Lu Minh was born in Vietnam. This country is very fertile. That's one country. Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam are all in Asia. These countries lie between the Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea. So you have how many countries? 1, 2, 3. These. And these are two or more. So if we took out Thailand, so Cambodia and Vietnam are all in Asia, these countries lie between the Gulf of Thailand and South China Sea, we would still have a sentence that's grammatically correct. Your answer is this. If you were talking about Mr. Lee Luong Ming, you would say he, his, or him. These are the pronouns that replace him. But you're not talking about him. You're talking about the time. So let's get our sentences straight. Lee Luong Ming became the 13th Secretary General of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, in January 2013. This could end a sentence. 2013 was over not 14, but about 12 years ago. This is past. But what it's saying is in 2013, this was the first time the organization would appoint a Vietnamese leader. So we're talking about a time and not what these nations did. And a lot of people who took this question went and said, oh, these nations, they appointed and they chose those or these. No, it's not what the sentence says. They did not appoint. They said making this the first time. Choice is this, and your answer is C. These is more than one, so I'm going to put plus two or more. 2 plus. I'm going to do it this way. It's not more than 2. It's 2 or more. Okay, greater than 2. That's how I'll do that. Okay, these has to be it's plural. Greater than 2. So they're out because you only have one time. Some places are on the water. Places, more than one. At some time, I will take you out. But that wouldn't go here in this sentence. Lee Luong Ming became the 13th Secretary General of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations in January 2003, making the first time? No, you'd have to say some of. So this is out, D is out, B is out, and A is out. Okay, go back and review. Look at some of the tricks, and these are very easy on standardized tests. But for people who are learning English, parallel structure is not as hard as you think. So when you read it, if you go and you preview these questions over here, you can see that all of them are the verb tense or some form of the verb to use. And, French, Spanish, come on guys, utiliser, usar in Spanish. So you know what the sentence means. To use, to consume, to put in your hand. So you don't even have to go through that. All right? And so it's going to be one of these tenses. And before you just jump out, a lot of people will say, well, this is a verb polarizing. Well, in this case, this is really an adjective because it is describing the filter. And filter is a noun. So let's not get lazy and just say this because the test readers or the test graders, I should say, they're waiting on you to get lazy. And this word is noun. And if you get too lazy, you're going to miss this. So I know you run out of time, but don't sit here and say, okay, I'm just going to guess. Let's look at what's going on. So in 1929, Edward Herbert Land invented a polarizing filter that was featured in a number of products. Sunglasses, from sunglasses to 3D movies. A decade later, Land blanked his technology to invent the world's first instant camera, the Polaroid land camera. Now here is where this gets very, very hard, and where people start getting crazy with how hard it is you're starting from 1929. Well, we're almost in 2029. So this is like what, about 96 years ago. Okay, so it has to be a past tense verb here. And you see it. ED is past tense. So ED is past tense, meaning it goes to the past of 1929. Okay. All right. So we're in the past. 1929 is the past, so you need a verb. And the author did that. The author put invented. Okay. This is also past tense. Was featured. This is ED. In a number of products, from sunglasses to 3D movies. Now, a decade later, so 1929, and a decade, decada, okay, 10 years later would still be when? 1939. Come on, people, we're in 2025, so you're still in 1939. You are still in the where? Past. So you need a what kind of verb? Past tense. To use is an infinitive. Using is present progressive. It's only these. It's only either A or B. Okay? So this is to use is an infinitive. And if you read it and you were to use, let's say you were to choose choice C. Even if you read it a decade later, Land to use his technology to invent the world's first instant camera. The infinitive is either like, I was the first to use, I am going to use. You see how infinitives work? So you can't do that. Okay, so you need a past tense. And for that, I'm going to put PT here. PT verb. So one of the two. Now let's think. Land to have used his technology to invent the world's first instant camera. That's not good English. It's a decade later. Land used. So your answer is A. Okay, and now you have standard good American English. Okay, let's move on to the next one.